February, everyone. If you're new around here, my name is Hannah. If you're not new, welcome back. I cannot believe today is February 1st already, although I kind of can, because I don't know if anyone else felt like this, but January just felt like the longest month to me. Not in a bad way, it just felt like January was 2 or 3 months long instead of just 1 month long, and I don't know what the deal with that was for me personally, but it wasn't a bad thing just because I did like so much in January and accomplished so many of my goals. So I was really grateful for January, and I feel like it was just such a good start to the year. As you guys have already seen by the title of this video, I'm filming my February monthly reset video today. I'm using monthly reset loosely because I feel like I kind of reset over a few days rather than just resetting all within one day, but I'm kind of gonna go through like my plans for resetting, if that makes any sense. So for me personally, there are 2 parts to like resetting for the month. One is mentally, which has to do with goals and plans for the month and things of that sort, and then the second part to kind of resetting for the month is physically resetting, so washing my sheets, deep cleaning my apartment, picking things up, getting rid of things, kind of just getting my life situated. I really want to do a deep clean a little bit later today, but I kind of want to start with like the mental reset first, since it is the 1st of February and I'm really excited to review and kind of set my goals for the month and walk you guys through them. And then I'm also excited to share my new goals for February because it's a new month, which just means a whole new set of goals that we can achieve. My computer literally sounds like it's about to take off. What else is new? It always sounds like this. There's nothing that I can do about it, and I apologize if you can hear that in the background. Like I said, there's 2 parts to kind of my February reset, and the first part is a mental reset. So I'm gonna go through my January goals with you guys. I'm gonna do my February goals a little bit different than my January goals. For my January goals, if you guys watched my January reset, I decided that I wanted to try to use Notion for my January goals, and it just didn't really work out for me. It's not that I don't understand Notion, I just don't really vibe with Notion. It's not really my thing. Like, I just prefer a physical journal, and I think I prefer a physical journal because of the fact that I'm also getting back into journaling again lately and just brain dumping in a journal. I've loved journaling my entire life, and getting back into brain dumping my thoughts into a journal has made me realize that I kind of want my goals in this journal as well, just so I can like reflect back on them periodically. So I'm getting rid of like the whole Notion portion of my goals for February, but I did use it for January, so we can go through my January goals in Notion, but then we're gonna like go through my February goals in my actual notebook that I already wrote down. If you guys watched my January reset, you guys probably already know a few of my January goals, but we're gonna talk about whether or not I actually ended up achieving them. So I have my January goals now pulled up in Notion. I showed you guys kind of a mini Notion tour in my last reset, so if you want to kind of see what I did here, go back and watch it. I don't really use Notion that much since I set it up. Like, it was a fun thing for me to set up, but since then I've just realized that it's not super practical. I just don't use it that much, so I'm not gonna use it anymore. But for January goals, I did use it. So first goal that I had was hit 2.4k subscribers on YouTube. I did not entirely reach that goal. I'm at 2.373 right now, so 2,373 subscribers. I was so close to reaching this goal, but honestly I set this goal knowing it was a stretch for me. I think that when I set this goal I was only at like 2.22 or something, so 2,220 subscribers. So I needed like 180 subscribers to reach my 2.4k goal, and I would say at the rate that I'm currently growing, I gain like 100 subscribers maybe a month, but I gained a lot of subscribers this month, like more than I thought I would. So I knew going into this that 2.4k was a stretch for me, but the fact that I almost hit it says something. So I think that that just goes to show that even though you don't necessarily achieve all of your goals, if you reach high enough, you can get close enough, and then you can honestly like end up shocking yourself, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm really surprised that I even came close to hitting this goal because I knew it was a stretch, but I really wanted to try to strive for it. So I didn't exactly hit it, but I did do so well with my subscriber growth this month, and I'm like really proud of myself for it. So honestly, it's a win in my book, even though I didn't like hit that exact number. Second one is to upload at least 8 YouTube videos 2 times per week. I did that. You guys can see all the videos that I uploaded here for the month of January. For those of you guys that are new around here or that you don't know, I try to upload at least twice a week, Sundays and Wednesdays, typically around 5 p.m. That's just the time that works best for me. I like uploading at 5 p.m. Eastern because I feel like it gives people content to watch after they get out of school or get out of work or get out of their responsibilities for the day. So that's my typical posting schedule. Every now and then it can vary. Like the past 2 weeks I haven't been good about posting on Sundays and Wednesdays. I think this last one I posted was on a Monday, and then the one before that was like a Thursday, just because my whole schedule got thrown off because of school. You can expect 2 videos a week from me, typically Sundays and Wednesdays, but sometimes it varies. Learn 2 new recipes. Your girl is trying to become a chef in 2022, okay? So I set out a goal to try to make 2 new recipes this month. I got a crock pot for Christmas and I got an air fryer, and I've been using them up a storm. I use my air fryer all the time, and the crock pot I used to make 2 recipes that were pretty good. My favorite one out of the 2 that I made was the crock pot chicken and dumplings. That was amazing, and I had meals for like 4 days straight. It was so nice. Crock pot chicken and gnocchi soup, I probably won't end up making again. I just did not hit the spot for me. I don't think I did anything wrong. I just don't think that it was my personal favorite. I gave my boyfriend one of the containers that I had made because it literally made like 4 to 5 containers for leftovers. So I gave him one night for dinner, and he really liked it, but it wasn't my favorite. I think I just expected it to be something different than what it actually was. It was just a weird tasting chicken noodle soup in my opinion. So wasn't my favorite, but hey, you have to try something to learn whether or not you're gonna like it. So crock pot chicken and gnocchi was not my fave, but the crock pot chicken and dumplings was so good. Next goal was to put $400 in savings, $200 per paycheck. I came nowhere close to achieving this goal this month, and in full transparency, I even had to like pull from savings. I would say that typically like halfway through December, January and February are like very high spend months for me, because January you're just coming out of Christmas, so I'm like paying off my credit card for all the things that I bought in December for Christmas, and then February is also a really high spend month for me, especially this year. 1, my boyfriend's birthday is this month. 2, there's Valentine's Day. 3, it's our 3-year anniversary. And then 4, we're literally taking 2 trips. I'm taking 3 trips in the month of February, but I'm taking 2 trips with my boyfriend in the month of February. So it's just always been a really high spend month for me, and I just think that that's something that I have to accept. So I ended up actually pulling from savings instead of putting into savings, which I really don't like to do. I really don't enjoy like touching my savings. Like my savings is there just in case, but I did have to pull from my savings in January, so I didn't end up achieving that goal. I'm gonna try to get back on my saving grind in March. February, it's not gonna happen for me. I've just come to that conclusion already that I shouldn't even attempt to achieve this goal, and I'm not even gonna put it on my list because it's gonna stress me out. So yeah, that's the situation with that goal. Did not achieve it. Last one was try a new workout class. I tried Orange Theory. If you guys watched a few vlogs ago, I talked about how I loved the workout class, and it had me sore for like 4 days straight, which I actually enjoy being sore, so that was really cool and I enjoyed the workout. But it's just the membership that they want me to get and the one that they're offering me is literally so expensive. Also, Orange Theory for me is like a 20-minute walk, and taking the subway there isn't the most ideal situation because of where it's located based on where I live. So I really liked it. If there was one closer to me and it was a little bit more affordable, I definitely probably would sign up for a membership and just cancel my gym membership, because it was challenging, competitive, and I actually felt sore after it, which was like my biggest thing. But I just can't justify it at this time. So I did try a new workout class. I did like it, but there were some downfalls to it that I just cannot get past. So I'm glad that I put myself out there, and I want to try some other new workout classes soon, but Orange Theory was not it for me. So that completes my January goals. I am proud of myself for hitting the majority of them. Like I said, some were missed by a little bit. Some I just completely disregarded halfway through the month and realized it was not going to happen for me. Like I said earlier though, I feel like when you set goals to push yourself, not to shame yourself if you don't achieve them. So I'm really proud of myself for pushing myself out of my comfort zone for every single one of these and achieving the majority of them or getting close to achieving them. And I've already seen like a lot of growth in myself and like my channel and the goals that I have for next month. So I am proud of myself for January, and I hope you guys are proud of yourself for your January goals too if you set them, because like I said, it's about growth, not necessarily hitting every single one of them. All right, we're at a different angle now. I had to wait for my heater to stop going off because it sounds like it's about to blow up every time it turns on. And we just don't need that kind of background noise in my videos, now do we? No, we do not, and it drives me up the wall, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm moving out of Notion for my February goals. I'm just going back to a basic notebook for my February goals. This is the notebook that I use for journaling, writing down thoughts, writing down lists, anything that's on my mind. It's not a designated to-do list journal. It's not a designated goals journal. I don't like really have those. I know some people have journals for every different subject. So some people will have a to-do list journal. Some people will have a journal. Some people will have a manifestation journal. Some people will have a goals journal. And that would stress me out having that many things. So I just keep it all in one journal, and it's just kind of like my 2022 journal that I can look back on someday. I don't know if I'll ever look back on it, but it's here if I need it. So I wrote down all of my February goals in here, and I'm gonna share them with you guys. I'm gonna put a picture of the goals up on the screen because I think that that is probably the easiest way to do it instead of pointing my camera down at the paper. So I'm gonna have the picture of it up here. First goal that I have is to read 3 books. I read like 5 or 6 books in January, which I'm gonna go over my January books that I read and the reviews a little bit later on in this video, but I want to read 3 books this month. Like I said, February is a really busy month for me, so I'm not pushing myself to read 5 or 6 books like I did in January. January, I just happened to have a lot of time on my hands at the very beginning and kind of throughout the month, so I was able to read more than I typically would read, and I also enjoyed reading more than I typically read, but because I am going on 2 or 3 trips and I have school and so on and so forth, my only goal is to read 3, and so yeah, so that's the point of that. Next one is I want to hit 2.5 subs on YouTube, so I'm not too far off from 2.5k, and I feel like I can really hit it in February. I have a lot of different and unique content coming up. I have literally 2 packing vlogs, 2 travel vlogs coming up, and I know you guys love the packing and travel vlogs, so stay tuned for that. Next one is to visit a new state. I am doing that. This trip has been planned for several months now, so I'm really excited for it. Make 1 new recipe. That's not that hard because I literally have to make my own food to eat every week, so I'm just gonna pick 1 new recipe at some point this month and try it out. Next is to only drink alcohol once per week. This is just because I really want to get back on my healthy grind, and I'm not saying that if you drink alcohol 2 to 3 times per week or even every single night, maybe if you drink it every single night, that's probably not good for you, but I'm not saying that if you drink alcohol more than once per week that you're living an unhealthy lifestyle. That's not what I'm saying at all. I notice a difference in my personal health and mindset when I drink versus when I don't drink. I get a lot of anxiety the day after I drink. I feel crappy the day after I drink. I feel unmotivated the day after I drink, and so I really don't want to feel like that 2 to 3 to 4 times a week. So I'm cutting back alcohol intake to only once per week, which I think should be pretty easy to do in my opinion. I am not the type of person that feels the need to drink when I'm being social. I could drink water or kombucha or an Olipop or something and be very content with other people drinking around me. I don't have an issue with it, so I don't think this will be too hard. Next is to do the gym 3 times per week. This one I know I'm already going to have an issue with, so I might change this to just work out 3 times per week. You guys hear that? Sounds of the city. Okay, while I was waiting for the siren to go away, I literally just crossed out gym and put workout instead of the gym. I'm literally going to Puerto Rico, which I will explain in a whole other video, but I'm going to Puerto Rico last minute on Friday and I'm staying until next Saturday, so that's already a week of February that I won't be able to go to the gym 3 times per week, but we're planning on doing a bunch of hikes and beach walks and morning walks while we're there, so I'm just gonna put like workout 3 times per week, or move my body in some sort of fashion 3 times per week. That's a little bit more than what I would normally do. Yeah, we already had to fix that. Last one is I just need to go ahead and completely cross this off. So you guys are going to see it crossed off in the screenshot because it was have a lower spending month than January, and there's just absolutely no way that that is happening because I literally have like 3 trips this month. I have the Puerto Rico trip coming up, then I have another trip literally the week after I get back from Puerto Rico, and then I have a school trip, which is something else we'll get into maybe in a future vlog. So there's just absolutely no way that I could have a lower spending month than January because I have so many trips coming up, so many things to celebrate. It's just not gonna happen. I originally thought that that was possible, and I think that when I wrote that I was out of my mind because just reflecting on that and booking everything, like flights, Airbnbs, rental car, the amount of food it's gonna take to eat there, all of that, there's just no way. There's absolutely no way. So that one's gone. Next thing that I want to do is I want to start writing down my subscriber count so that I can keep track of it with you guys. So like I said, I'm at 2,373, and then at the end of the month I will show you how much I've grown or how many subscribers I've gained. I think this is fun to see for myself so that I can reflect back on my growth, but also I think it's fun for you guys to see like how many new people have joined our little community. So I'm gonna start doing that, and then I am gonna track the AdSense I made at the end of the month, but that won't come until the end of the month, so I have to wait to fill that out. But yeah, those are my February goals, a little bit different than January goals. I'm probably gonna have to change a few of them as they go on, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that you should be able to change and update or modify your goals as the month goes on, just to make them a little bit more realistic. And if you feel pressured to achieve your goals, or if you feel stressed out to achieve your goals, then they're probably not a good goal to have. In my personal opinion, your goals shouldn't stress you out. They should motivate you and be a good kick in the butt, but they shouldn't be something that you look at and get stressed out or upset over. So that is my personal opinion, and that's what I try to keep in mind when I'm setting my own goals. Like, is this goal going to eventually stress me out, or is it something that's going to kick me in the butt and motivate me? Maybe that's just something you guys can keep in mind if you guys are writing monthly goals, yearly goals, weekly goals, whatever you're doing. Just keep that in mind, that they should motivate you, not stress you out. Also, they should be something that drives growth, but you shouldn't necessarily kick yourself if you don't achieve every single one of them. Next part of the whole reset routine is the physical reset. So I've been pretty good about keeping up with my apartment lately, like wiping things down, vacuuming really often, and stuff like that. But I want to do the next step, which is mopping the floor and cockroach spray, because there was literally a dead cockroach on the first floor of my building downstairs, and I thought the cockroaches like hibernated or something in the winter. I didn't realize that they were still active and around. I'm a bit paranoid again, so I'm gonna do that a little bit later, but I think I'm gonna start with vacuuming the floor just so that when I mop it, it makes it a little bit easier. Then I'm gonna wipe the counters down, and then I'm gonna spray the cockroach spray. We'll just do a little montage cleaning session. If you guys need to clean your apartment or your room or your house, this is your sign to do it, just to reset for the month so you feel a little bit better. We're clearing up not only our mental health but our physical space, which is always a good thing. So throw this portion of the video on while you're also cleaning, and we can clean together. literally took me maybe 20 minutes. So that is sick. I vacuumed every part of my apartment out in the living area and the bathroom, and then I picked up all the rugs, the one rug that I have, and mopped the whole floor. Then I wiped down counters, I put stuff away in the bathroom, I started running the dishwasher, I sprayed cockroach spray everywhere, including my hallway. Finished cleaning all of that up, and the last thing I want to do with you guys to kind of close out the February reset is go through the books that I read in January and kind of my review of them, my reflection of them, whether or not I'd recommend them with you guys. So I'm opening up my Goodreads account because this is the easiest way to do that. You guys can also follow me on Goodreads if you want. I never know how to share my profile. My name is literally just Hannah Riddle on there, and I don't know if I have a username. Like, I don't know really how that works. I'm opening this up so I can share with you guys the books that I read in January, as well as my review on them and my take on them. So I read 5 books in January, and I'm currently on my 6th book, although it's now February. So I started a book in January, but it's gonna probably end up being finished in February, or definitely will be, because today's February 1st and I'm not finished with it. So 5 official books in January. So the first book that I read is One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. This is actually a book that's in a series. There's 2 or 3 books in the series, I believe, so I've read the first book so far. Kind of a murder mystery type book. It says, pay close attention and you might solve this. On Monday afternoon, 5 students at Bayview High School walk into detention. Broadway, the brain, Yale-bound, and never breaks a rule. Addie, the beauty, is a picture-perfect homecoming princess. Nate, the criminal, is already at probation for dealing. Cooper, the athlete, is an all-star baseball pitcher. And Simon, the outcast, is the creator of Bayview High School's notorious gossip app. Only, Simon never makes it out of the classroom. Before the end of detention, Simon's dead. And according to investigators, his death wasn't accidental. On Monday, he died. On Tuesday, he planned to post juicy reveals about all 4 of his high-profile classmates, which makes all 4 of them suspects in his murder. Or are they the perfect patsies for a killer who's still on the loose? Everyone has secrets, right? What really matters is how far you would go to protect them. So like I said, it's kind of like a little murder mystery book. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, but I think my more accurate rating would be 3.8 stars. It was a quick and easy murder mystery book and quick and easy read. Honestly, the ending of the book wasn't that big of a surprise to me, and I feel like they kind of gave it away towards the middle of the book, so by the end of it I was like, oh, okay. Also, it's one of those books that switches between characters and the character's perspective, so it got a little bit confusing at times, and overall I was able to finish it in a few days, and I'll definitely end up reading the sequel. So I guess there aren't 3 books, I think it's just a sequel. And I'll definitely end up reading the sequel, but would only give it 3.8 stars. It's just a very lighthearted, easy read if you need something to pick up last minute. Next book that I read is November 9th by Colleen Hoover, which is one of my favorite authors of all time. She is like the perfect author to get you out of a book slump or a book rut if you are off your reading game or you just need something to get you back into reading. Fallon meets Ben, an aspiring novelist, the day before her scheduled cross-country move. Their untimely attraction leads them to spend Fallon's last day in LA together, and her eventful life becomes the creative inspiration Ben has always sought for his novel. Over time, and amidst the various relationships and tribulations of their own separate lives, they continue to meet on the same date every year. Until one day Fallon becomes unsure if Ben has been telling her the truth or fabricating a perfect reality for the sake of ultimate plot twist. Can Ben's relationship with Fallon, and simultaneously his novel, be considered a love story if it ends in heartbreak? A little love mystery action happening here. It's probably like one of my favorite Colleen Hoover books that I have read to this day. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. I read this whole thing in 3 days. I probably could have read it in like 24 hours, but I read it over time because I had other things that I was juggling. But it was so cute and like one of my favorite romance books of all time. I just think that the plot and storyline was super unique compared to any other romance book that I have ever read, so that was like one of my favorite parts to it. I will, however, give a warning that if you are newer to the Colleen Hoover books, read Ugly Love, which is another one of her books, before you read November 9th, because some of the main characters from Ugly Love are incorporated into November 9th, and it kind of gives away huge part of Ugly Love, so just read that before you read November 9th so that you don't spoil anything for yourself. Next book that I read was The Couple Next Door. I only gave this 3 stars. I honestly was not too crazy about this book. It really just dragged on for me and I didn't find it that fascinating. I think that the storyline is really cool and unique, but I feel like it could have been written so much better. Basically, it's about a dinner party, a domestic suspense debut about a young couple and their apparently friendly neighbors, a twisty roller coaster ride of lies, betrayal, and the secrets between husbands and wives. Anne and Marco Conti seem to have it all: a loving relationship, a wonderful home, and their beautiful baby Cora. But one night when they are at a dinner party next door, a terrible crime is committed. Suspicion immediately focuses on the parents, but the truth is a much more complicated story. Inside the curtained house, an unsettling account of what actually happened unfolds. Detective Rossbach knows that the panicked couple is hiding something. Both Anne and Marco soon discover that the other is keeping secrets they've kept for years. What follows is the nerve-wracking unraveling of a family, a chilling tale of deception, duplicity, and unfaithfulness that will keep you breathless until the final shocking twist. I think that the plot twist is pretty obvious, to be honest, from the very beginning of the book, so I wasn't shocked by the ending. Personal opinion, like I said, I gave it 3 stars. Next book that I read was The Personal Librarian. I gave this book 2 stars because it literally took me 2 weeks to read it, which, keep in mind, normally it takes me either 24 hours or like 4 or 5 days to read a book, and I had such a hard time reading this book that it literally took me 2 weeks, and I only finished it because I felt like I had to. Like, I felt like I was committed to the book, not because I enjoyed it. And I did a poll on my Instagram of whether or not people actually enjoyed this book, and a lot of people said that they did not like it either, so I know it wasn't just me. I wanted to love this book so badly, and I couldn't do it. Basically, the description of the book is: in her 20s, Belle DaCosta Green is hired by JP Morgan to curate a collection of rare manuscripts, books, and artwork for his new built Pierpont Morgan library. Belle becomes a fixture on the New York society scene and one of the most powerful people in the art and book world, known for her impeccable state and shrewd negotiating for critical works as she helps build a world-class collection. But Belle has a secret, one she must protect at all costs. She was born not Belle DaCosta Green, but Belle Marion Greener. She is the daughter of Richard Greener, the first black graduate of Harvard and a well-known advocate for equality. Belle's complexion isn't dark because of her alleged Portuguese heritage that lets her pass as white. Her complexion is dark because she's African American. The Personal Librarian tells the story of an extraordinary woman famous for her intellect, style, and wit, and shares the lengths to which she must go for the protection of her family and her legacy to preserve her carefully crafted white identity in the racist world in which she lives. So based on that description, I really expected so much out of this book. I was so excited because it's based on a true story, so I was really excited to kind of have some insight into this woman who lived in New York in 1906, where segregation was very much so still a thing. So she was African American, but her skin was so light that she could pass as white, and so she basically identified as white during this time and hid her true identity from not only her boss but her peers and everyone around her. And I just would have loved more of her life story throughout this book rather than the amount of history and book facts that were thrown at me. Yes, this is a historical fiction book. I totally get that it's a historical fiction book, so there is going to be history involved, but I felt like I almost needed to read an informational book on history during 1906 and the 1900s, and specifically books on art history and book history during that time, because the book kind of like just made me feel dumb at times for not knowing what they were talking about, which made it really hard to read. I'm gonna read you my review that I wrote on Goodreads because I feel like it's a good summary of like my thought process on this book. So I gave it 2.5. The book was so hard for me to finish and took forever to read. The storyline was not what I was expecting it to be. I'll have to admit that I'm not the biggest fan of historical fiction books, and I know that this was based on a true story, but they focused too much on the book / library, and I would have loved more information on Belle's life / story and her relationship with JP Morgan. That's all I'm going to say on that. I had so many high hopes for that book, and it just let me down, and I'm really sad about it. And everyone that I talked to had like the same opinion, so I know it wasn't just me. The last book that I read is The Last Mrs Parish by Liv Constantine. This book made its rounds in 2021, but I just got around to reading it this year, and I actually really liked it. The book is about Amber Patterson, who is fed up. She's tired of being a nobody, a plain invisible woman who blends into background. She deserves more, a life of money and power like the one blonde-haired, blue-eyed goddess Daphne Parish takes for granted. To everyone in the exclusive town of Bishop's Harbor, Connecticut, Daphne, a socialite and philanthropist, real estate husband Jackson are a couple straight out of a fairy tale. Amber's envy could eat her alive if she didn't have a plan. Amber uses Daphne's compassion and caring to insinuate herself into the family's life, the first step in a meticulous scheme to undermine her. Before long, Amber is Daphne's closest confidant, traveling to Europe with the Parishes and their lovely young daughters and growing closer to Jackson. But a skeleton from her past may undermine everything that Amber has worked towards, and if it is discovered, her well-laid plan may fall to pieces. With shocking turns and dark secrets that will keep you guessing until the very end, The Last Mrs Parish is fresh, juicy, and utterly addictive thriller from a diabolically imaginative talent. So I gave this book 4 stars out of 5. I was a really big fan of the book. The beginning, like 1/3 of it, is kind of slow and it kind of leaves you guessing, okay, where is the author taking us? Like, what is the point? What's happening here? But after that, it just whizzes through. I couldn't put the book down after that. Once the plot twist happened in the middle, I was sold and finished it in literally like 10 hours. There's a lot of twists and turns in the books that you don't see coming, and overall I just really enjoyed the plot. It's told by 2 different perspectives. So it's told by Amber Patterson, who is basically the psychopath that tries to infiltrate the Parish's life and kind of get Jackson to fall in love with her and take over Daphne's life. And then it's told by the wife's perspective, which is Daphne. And I didn't know the book was split like that, but it makes it way more interesting in my opinion. And that was like one of my favorite parts of the book, was that it was told by the 2 different perspectives. So I really liked it. Lots of plot twists and just kind of like a good psychological thriller. I don't even know if I would call it a psychological thriller, but it was a good little psychological mystery type book, and I was a fan personally. One last thing that I'll say is that I got comments on my January reset asking for like finance tips and budgeting tips, and I am not gonna at this point in time in my life give out finance tips or budgeting tips because I'm still learning that whole process on my own and I'm not too great at it yet. I have certain tips or tricks that I can definitely talk about in future videos, but I'm still kind of trying to figure out that portion of my life, so I'm not going to sit here and give advice when I'm still learning myself. But if you guys want tips and tricks on budgeting, finances, Carter Sullivan does monthly resets. She does finance videos all the time, and I personally learned a lot from her myself on ways to budget, tips to budget, how to budget, different ways to divide up your finances. So if you want budgeting tips, if you want finance tips, I'm gonna redirect you to her content. I will pop up her channel really quickly on the screen so you guys can see her name. She makes so many fun YouTube videos, like very similar content to me. And I know that a lot of you guys have actually come over from her channel, which is really exciting because we make similar content. So if you guys want budgeting videos, finance tips, go that way until I have it figured out on my end, and then I'll start giving tips and stuff like that. But it's not really my area of expertise, so that's what I'm gonna say about that. That is it for my February reset video. I hope you guys enjoyed. A little bit different than my January reset video. I'm still trying to figure out what I like and what I don't like about these reset videos. So if you guys have any comments, critiques, or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. But I am so excited for this new month, and I'm so excited for the new goals that I have set and things that I'm planning on achieving. Stay tuned for some really exciting content that's happening this month. Like I said, lots of travel videos, lots of packing videos, lots of just fun content that I don't normally create just because February is a busy month for me and it's just a little bit chaotic, but it's super fun and I have a lot of good opportunities coming my way. So stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe down below so you guys don't miss out on any of the videos. If you are subscribed and you want to be notified anytime I release a new video, you can hit the little bell notification in my profile. I don't exactly know where it is, but I know that you can turn notifications on for certain creators because I have notifications on for my favorite creators so that when they post a video, I can immediately watch it. It's like one of my favorite things that I look forward to. Also, you can follow my TikTok, Instagram if you want to keep up with me on other social platforms. I've been posting so much on TikTok, and it's just because I am bored with every other social media outlet other than YouTube, so TikTok has become like my new favorite social media platform. I just find that there is less negativity over there, so if you want to follow me on TikTok, and you can follow me on Instagram also, but everything is always linked down in the description below, so subscribe, follow me, turn on post notifications if you already subscribed to me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!